Introduction. Flux Capacitor Confusion. Scene. Marty McFly's animation studio. Papers and half-eaten pizza boxes litter the desk. Marty, now a silver fox with a hint of mischief in his eyes, stares at a computer screen displaying mind-blowing cosmic visuals. Marty sighs dramatically. Great Scott, talk about heavy. Just learned the universe might be, like, totally meaningless. No grand plan, no cosmic purpose. Just a bunch of rocks and stardust floating around aimlessly. Feels like someone ripped the flux capacitor out of my DeLorean and left me stranded in existential dread. Suddenly, a familiar voice booms from behind him. Doc Brown, emerging from a puff of smoke, sporting a lab coat and eccentric goggles. Hold on there, Einstein. Don't let those pesky nylons get you down. Just because the universe ain't got a pre-written script doesn't mean it's devoid of meaning. McFly. Marty, eyes widening. Doc, you're a lifesaver, literally. But how can something so vast and, well, chaotic have any meaning at all? Doc, grinning mischievously, buckle up, Marty. We're about to embark on a mind-bending journey through science, philosophy, and even a little pop culture, to explore the wacky world of finding purpose in a seemingly meaningless universe. Theme music starts, a funky remix of the Back to the Future theme with a philosophical twist. Marty, grinning, now that's what I call heavy. Let's flux this existential crisis and find some meaning, Doc style. They fist bump, and the animation zooms out, leaving the studio behind and hurtling towards the vastness of space. Narrator, join Marty McFly and his ever-wacky mentor, Doc Brown, as they explore the question that's puzzled humanity for ages. Can we find purpose in a seemingly meaningless universe? Get ready for a wild ride filled with humor, science, and a whole lot of McFly charm. End scene. Part 1. Doc Brown's Flux Capacitor Conundrum. Scene. Marty McFly's animation studio. Papers and half-eaten pizza boxes litter the desk. Marty slouches in his chair, staring at a computer screen displaying complex-looking equations. He rubs his eyes, clearly frustrated. Marty groans, Great Scott. This stuff gives me more wrinkles than Biff after a visit to the tanning salon. Doc said the universe was vast and fascinating, not some cosmic shrug emoji. Suddenly, a puff of smoke fills the room. Doc Brown materializes, holding a glowing flux capacitor. Doc, hold on to your flux capacitors. McFly, heard you were wrestling with the big questions again. Don't tell me, pondering the meaning of life in a seemingly meaningless universe? Marty, hey, Doc, you read my mind. Which, considering you invented a mind-reading toaster once, isn't that surprising? But yeah, this whole meaningless universe business is bumming me out. Is it all just random chaos? A cosmic game of pinball with no high score? Doc, now, Marty, don't get all existential on me. Sure, the universe might not have a pre-programmed purpose label stuck on it, but that doesn't mean it's meaningless. Think of it like... Doc waves his hand dramatically. A giant cosmic canvas. Marty raises an eyebrow. A canvas? You gonna tell me we're all just tiny paint splatters, Doc? Doc, exactly. But not just any splatters, Marty. Each one unique, each one contributing to the overall masterpiece. The universe might not have a script, but that means we get to write our own. Marty, sounds more like improv than a masterpiece, Doc. And let's be honest, my improv skills are about as good as a malfunctioning DeLorean. Doc pats Marty's shoulder. Nonsense. You got curiosity, passion, and a knack for storytelling. Remember when you saved Hill Valley with your rock and roll? You didn't have a cosmic script for that, did you? Marty thinks for a moment. True enough. But saving the town from Biff's tyranny and finding meaning in the vast unknown. Those feel like different ballparks, Doc. Doc, not as different as you think. McFly, every action, every choice, ripples out, creating meaning through its connections. From a butterfly flapping its wings to a guitarist shredding a solo, it all adds to the grand symphony of existence. Marty squints at Doc. So, you're saying even my animation reports, even if they don't explain the meaning of life, have some cosmic significance? Doc grins. Precisely. You entertain, inform, inspire. Who knows, maybe you even spark a kid's imagination enough to invent the next time machine. Now, grab your metaphorical paintbrush, McFly, and let's explore this vast canvas together. Scene fades out with Doc and Marty laughing. ready to delve into the science behind the seemingly meaningless universe. End of Part 1. Part 2. The McFly Multiverse of Meaning. Scene: Marty, looking slightly dazed from Doc's whirlwind science lesson, stands in front of a swirling vortex. It represents the multiverse of different perspectives on finding meaning. Marty: alright, Doc sent me on a mission to find meaning in this crazy, seemingly meaningless universe. Time to hop through this vortex and see what different folks have to say. He dives into the vortex, emerging in a serene garden with a wise, old owl perched on a branch. Owl: hoo, Marty McFly. Seeking the elusive meaning, are we? Marty: hey there, wise owl. Doc said you could help me explore different ways people find meaning. Like, is it all just cosmic dust and guitar solos, or is there something deeper? Owl: hoo. Meaning is like a delicious pizza, Marty. Many toppings, many ways to enjoy it. Let's explore a few flavors. The owl winks, and the scene shifts to a montage of different meaning toppings. Stoic Marty, standing stoically atop a mountain, like a rock, I must endure. Emotions are fleeting, but duty and reason, those give my life purpose. Gets hit by a snowball, yells Great Scott. Existentialist Marty, wearing a beret and pondering in a Parisian cafe, existence precedes essence, baby. I define my own meaning through free will and rebellion against the absurd. Orders an espresso, spills it, sighs dramatically. Buddhist Marty, meditating peacefully in a temple, Om Mani Padme Hum. True meaning lies in detaching from desires and embracing the present moment. Gets distracted by a butterfly, chases it giggling. Historical highlights. Medieval Marty, as a brave knight, I find meaning in serving my king and upholding chivalry. Jousts clumsily, falls off horse. Renaissance Marty, as a brilliant inventor, I seek to unlock the secrets of the universe and leave my mark on history. Invents a flying skateboard, crashes into a tree. Civil rights Marty, fighting for equality and justice gives my life purpose. Leads a protest. March, gets caught in a rainstorm. Humor, each meaning topping is presented with a humorous twist, highlighting the challenges and paradoxes within each philosophy. Marty makes funny comments about his own struggles to embody each philosophical approach. Historical figures are portrayed with a light-hearted touch, poking fun at their grand pronouncements and inevitable downfalls. Ending. Marty, panting, back in the animation studio. Whoa, that was a whirlwind tour of meaning land. Seems everyone's got their own recipe, but none are perfect. Owl, voice echoing, hoo. Remember, Marty, the journey itself is meaningful. Keep searching, keep laughing, keep fluxing your own future. The owl winks, the vortex disappears. Marty looks thoughtful, then grins. Marty: alright, owl, you got me there. Time to turn this existential crisis into an epic animated report. Buckle up, viewers, it's gonna be a wild ride. He winks at the camera, ending Part 2 on a lighthearted and upbeat note. Part 3, the power of fluxing your own future. Scene: Marty sits in his animation studio, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. A crumpled piece of paper with meaningless universe scribbled on it lies discarded on his desk. He sighs, then a determined glint enters his eye. Marty slams his fist on the desk. Doc was right. We ain't stuck in some cosmic dustbin waiting for meaning to magically appear. We gotta create it ourselves, just like fluxing a DeLorean into the future. Camera zooms in on Marty's face, eyebrows raised in realization. Marty, it's not about finding some grand purpose written in the stars. It's about the little choices we make each day, the ripples we create in the pond of existence. Like, maybe I can't save the world with one giant leap, but I can make someone laugh with a goofy animation or inspire a kid to think differently. And hey, that ain't half bad. Marty jumps up, grabs a guitar leaning against the wall, and strums a few chords. Marty, let's say finding meaning is like building a flux capacitor. You gotta gather the parts, the experiences, the connections, the passions. It takes time, effort, maybe even a few plutonium rods, metaphorically speaking, of course. But hey, the journey itself is an adventure, right? Every laugh, every tear, every connection, it all adds a spark to the capacitor of your life. Marty starts singing a catchy tune, lyrics about embracing the journey and creating your own meaning. Marty, so quit moping about a meaningless universe. Grab your metaphorical hoverboard, fuel it with your passions, and flux your own future. Leave your mark, big or small, and make the world a little bit brighter, a little bit funnier, a little bit McFlyer. Marty winks at the camera, strums his final chord, and the scene fades out. Conclusion: fluxing your own future. Scene: Marty McFly stands in his animation studio, bathed in the warm glow of the computer screen displaying the finished essay. Marty: so, there you have it, folks. We've journeyed through the mind-bending multiverse of meaning, and guess what? Turns out, meaning ain't something prepackaged, delivered by Cosmic Uber Eats. It's something we gotta create ourselves, one choice, one action, one flux capacitor-powered adventure at a time. Doc Brown pops in, holding a half-eaten banana. Doc: that's right, McFly. Remember, the universe may not have a script, but you do. Fill it with passion, purpose, and maybe even a few hoverboard chases for good measure. Marty: and hey, if you're still feeling a bit lost in the existential void, don't hesitate to hit that like button and leave a comment below. Share your thoughts, your struggles, your own journeys towards finding meaning. Together, we can build a community of McFly-tastic meaning makers. He winks at the camera. Marty: can't. And of course, if you want to see more animated adventures chock full of humor, science, and maybe even a DeLorean or two, don't forget to subscribe. We've got a whole multiverse of topics to explore, from facing our mortality, heavy, I know, to the meaning of life according to a pizza-loving time traveler. Doc throws a crumpled piece of paper at Marty, narrowly missing his head. Doc: speaking of pizza, McFly, are you ever gonna finish the cold calzone? Marty chuckles: flux you later, Doc. And remember, folks, the adventure of finding meaning starts right now. Get out there, make your choices, and flux your own future. Theme music fades out, replaced by upbeat outro music. Narrator: don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And stay tuned for the next episode, where Marty McFly gets existential about mortality. With a healthy dose of humor, of course. End scene.